Brisbane is set to have some game-changing infrastructure improvements, so let's find out what they are.
Brisbane is making a play to be Australia's top city. High-profile events like the 2032 Olympic Games will elevate the city to rival Sydney and Melbourne.
I just want to say that I think because of the state rivalry that Australia has, whether it's Victoria, New South Wales, over in the West and up in Queensland, I think that rivalry actually pushes the cities to do more, and it improves the cities.
To support this growth, the city is undertaking a number of game-changing major projects that will transform Brisbane and improve the lives of its residents. I'm taking a look at 9 major projects in various stages of construction and development approval that will shape the future of Brisbane, because today, we're talking tactics.
Hello, Mel Vilcos.
Queen's Wharf, estimated completion, a staged opening beginning in late 2023. Over 2,300 square metres of lush southeast Queensland grown turf has been laid along the river's edge, just adjacent to the Bicentennial Bikeway as part of the newly created public green space. Transformed from a construction site to a riverside park destination, perfect for lunch breaks and outdoor activities. As for the actual building, the first to open will be the Star Grand, featuring new hotels, gaming areas, restaurants and bars, and the Neville Bonner Bridge.
Just look at this image. Now, I think it's probably a good idea because you want more green spaces in a big city. But my issue would be is you've got that huge motorway. I think it's like a motorway, whatever you'd call it, highway, that runs right along the outside there. So how much peace and tranquility will you actually have with the amount of traffic that is going above your head? I don't think that is an amazing place, but it's not a great place to have that road in the first place, in my opinion. But it's certainly going to be noisy, but maybe that... But they said about, having a green space. I think of peace and quiet. But then he talks about the hustle and bustle with restaurants and everything.
Then, of course, there will be the iconic Sky Deck, offering breathtaking views of the city. This project is expected to bring an additional 1.4 million tourists to Brisbane every year. Mark your calendars. Queen's Wharf Brisbane is set to become the ultimate destination in the city for entertainment, dining and relaxation. The new Performing Arts Complex, estimated completion 2024. The Queensland Government has invested in and construction is well underway on a new state-of-the-art theatre to support audience demand and growth in the arts and cultural sector in Brisbane. The new venue is located on the Playhouse Green site near the current QPAC venue.
That is a lot of concrete. That's all I'm going to say, a lot of concrete.
The capacity of 1,500 people is expected to be transformational for the performing arts industry in Australia. The unique design of the new theatre includes an iconic rippled glass facade, transparent foyer spaces, a single balcony auditorium, additional studio spaces, and significant First Nations artwork.
1,500 is not a very good capacity for something that's there to be modern and push the city forwards. I don't think 1,500 is enough. We've got theatres in town, in our towns and cities that are just that. And so is that really enough? Is that really enough to get big artists to you and get a big audience? I know it's not an arena, but still, that doesn't seem a lot.
The new state-of-the-art theatre, which is being constructed at a cost of $175 million, will offer visitors 5 exceptional performance spaces and has the potential to bring in an extra 300,000 guests annually to experience an additional 260 shows. It's scheduled to be completed in 2024, so get your tickets to Hamilton, the Book of Mormon, or Harry Potter and the Cursed Child now. The Brisbane Metro, estimated completion late 2024. The Brisbane Metro is set to change the way we travel within the city. The all-electric vehicles will service 18 stations along dedicated busways between 8 Mile Plains and Roma Street and UQ to the Royal Brisbane Women's Hospital, enhancing key suburbs along the routes, reducing congestion in the CBD and making it easier to travel with turn-up-and-go services. It's set for completion in late 2024, but the possibilities don't stop there. In late 2023, it was announced that Kangaroo would also be part of the network. And a study is currently being conducted to assess the viability of expanding the project out to the Capalaba Business District. Personally, I'd like to see a loop that wraps around the city, connecting Woolloongabba to Morningside and Balimba, out to North Shore Hamilton and back towards Newstead. Get ready, Brisbane. The future of transportation is here and it's taking us to exactly where we need to be.
That's great news. Electric I always thought of Metro as more of a trains than, I see Metro as trains, not buses. But either way, great that they're electric, great that the public transport is expanding, because as you expand, you want obviously less people driving their own individual cars, cut down traffic. You need a good, cheap public transport. So fantastic, that's good. It just needs to be able to cover a decent amount of space.
Kangaroo Point Green Bridge, estimated completion late 2024. The Kangaroo Point Green Bridge is set to change the way we experience the city and the Brisbane River. Scheduled for completion in late 2024, the bridge will link Kangaroo Point to the CBD and Botanical Gardens with an elegant single-mast cable stay structure, which is designed to complement the city skyline and minimise visual impact. This bridge promotes further densification of a suburb that immediately borders the Golden Triangle, Brisbane's finance, legal and accounting hub. But that's not all. The bridge also features two new dining opportunities, including an above-water restaurant and bar on the bridge and a new riverside cafe at the City Landing Plaza. The new bridge will make it even easier for residents to walk or ride between Kangaroo Point, the eastern suburbs and the CBD.
Bridges are so important for connectivity in cities with a river. And it looked nice. And if they can incorporate restaurants and things, it's basically a restaurant with a view.
Cross River Rail, estimated completion early 2025. A lot of people confuse the Cross River Rail with the Brisbane Metro project, and whilst they do overlap in some areas to maximise efficiencies in our transport system, they are two completely separate projects. The Cross River Rail will provide a second river crossing for the rail network to alleviate pressure for rail lines on the south side of Brisbane and to ease congestion on the busiest train crossing in Australia. This means that Woolloongabba will finally get a train station, and being only one stop away from the CBD, this will unlock huge tracts of land in what is currently car yards and light industry ripe for development. Additionally, the Albert Street train station will become the first new station in the CBD in over 120 years, stimulating new development activity on the southern end of the city along with the Queen's Wharf development.
See, that is what I'm talking about. More and more public transport, as long as it is cheap. That is the most important thing. It has to be at a reasonable price, because over here in the UK, our public transport can be really, really expensive. And so you don't want to use public transport when it's costing so much. You have to get to the certain location in the first place, and it just ends up easier and cheaper to drive. You just risk occasionally getting stuck in traffic, but normally driving yourself works out quicker. So if they can get rid of those problems that we have, then amazing. Working on bus and now train. And they seem to be coming quite soon, which is a plus. You want things soon, not plan for 10 years' time or something crazy like that.
Waterfront Brisbane, stage completion estimated in 2027. Waterfront Brisbane is a highly anticipated development that will change the face of the city's finance hub. It will include the redevelopment of the Eagle Street Pier site with a new high-end retail and dining experience and two commercial office towers, with the first tower set for completion in 2027. It has already received pre-commitments from leading firms such as Deloitte, Minter Ellison and Gaydon's Lawyers. Across the two towers, 120,000 square metres of office space will be delivered, along with an enhanced retail offering, substantial improvements to the Riverwalk and 1 hectare of public space. This development will completely change how residents experience the Brisbane Riverside. These next projects...
See, that overwhelms me. If you know me now and you've watched my vlogs when we were in Australia and you've watched my videos, you would know that sort of overwhelms me. Wouldn't want more tall skyscrapers because it's overwhelming.
Projects are still awaiting final approvals. Brisbane Live Arena, earliest potential completion 2027. Brisbane is potentially getting an entertainment experience like no other. Plans are currently in motion for a new 18,000-seat entertainment arena complex modelled after LA Live, arguably one of the best live entertainment venues in the world. This state-of-the-art complex is likely to be the venue that hosts the swimming events for the 2032 Olympic Games. Currently, the location is earmarked directly above the rail yards at Roma Street Station, effectively our new Grand Central Station once Cross River Rail is complete. However, due to cost concerns of building above the railway, it may potentially be relocated to the current site of the Queensland Police Headquarters, just across the road.
See, maybe that is why they're only building a small theatre currently, because the plans are later on down the line to have a big arena. So maybe that explains the earlier point of the theatre.
This would also stimulate a relocation of the police headquarters. The earliest potential completion for this project is 2027. So things could change, but I can't wait to see the greatest live performances in the world right here in Brisbane CBD. The Gabba Redevelopment, earliest potential completion 2029.
Now, I've heard about the Gabba redevelopment. My subscribers have told me. My only question is, I've looked at the Gabba, looked at it in VR, and there are a lot of things in very close proximity to the outside of the Gabba. So how much is that really going to get in the way? How much expansion could they actually do? Because they would surely have to buy the land on the outside and knock down other buildings that, people may not be willing to do that.
And onwards. Brisbane's beloved Gabba Stadium, or Brisbane Cricket Ground in Wollongabba, is set to change. Plans are currently in motion for a major redevelopment of the existing stadium, tearing it down and completely rebuilding it and increasing capacity from 42,000 to approximately 50,000 seats. The upgrade also includes a brand new pedestrian plaza linking the stadium to Cross River Rail and Brisbane Metro projects, which are currently under construction. This new and improved stadium would not only host the opening and closing ceremonies, but it would also be the first time the Olympics' primary venue would be so close to a major CBD, being just 2 kilometres away. The existing stadium is already well utilised for AFL, cricket and other live performance events. The earliest potential completion for this project is 2029 and onwards. I personally think that the proposed stadium upgrade is too small. The current stadium is 42,000 seats and they want to rip it down to build a 50,000 seat stadium. I'd much prefer if we kept the existing stadium and built a new 70 to 80,000 seat stadium above the new Wollongabba train station just next door. This would allow the AFL and cricket to continue to be played uninterrupted in the lead up to the Olympics, as well as providing a magnificent new mega stadium.
His thoughts seem very short term just on the Olympics there, because what's the point of having the two stadiums right next to each other? Yes, it allows the games to be uninterrupted for that one little period of time. I think you've got to look a lot more long term. You're going to have interference because that's what happens when a Olympics or a World Cup or something comes around. It interferes with other things. But I don't see it practical having two stadiums right next to each other. It doesn't seem practical because I don't think it's got the need for it. You can understand, for example, in Sydney, because you've got the Sydney Cricket Ground and then you've got the Allianz next to it, but it's for separate sports that require it, at the same time almost. Whereas at the moment you've got cricket and AFL that are at separate times. I don't think you need two there.
Queenslanders won a staggering 13 gold medals of the total 17 won by Australians in the Tokyo 2020 Olympics. Melbourne likes to call itself the sporting capital of Australia, but the athletes are choosing to live in southeast Queensland because of our fantastic weather. A two-stadium complex in Wollongabba would further propel Queensland as Australia's sporting powerhouse and provide an opportunity to compete for other major sporting events beyond the Olympics with an unrivaled public transport system to support it. The third airport terminal, earliest completion date 2029 onwards. Forecasts are projecting that by 2040, the number of passengers passing through Brisbane International Airport will double, reaching a staggering 50 million passengers per year. In order to accommodate this growth, a new terminal is currently in the planning stages and is expected to be located between the two runways. This will minimise aircraft taxiing and will be conveniently close to the current domestic terminal. This exciting development comes hot on the heels of the completion of the second runway, which significantly increased the capacity of Brisbane Airport to rival that of major hubs like Singapore and Hong Kong.
By the looks of it, when we book for this year's trip to Australia, it will be Brisbane that we fly back home from. So it'll be nice to see what Brisbane Airport's like. And actually, the problem is with the rising population and travel's not going to slow down. Granted, we need the advances in technology, the green technology, but it's inevitable that you're going to have more people wanting to travel and therefore more people wanting to come into Brisbane and therefore needing a new runway to ensure that you have the capacity for the customers. So no problem with that at all, but it's a while off.
The earliest potential completion for this project is 2029 and onwards. So get ready, Brisbane. It's about to take off. Brisbane is on the cusp of a major transformation with these exciting projects set to change the face of the city, improve the lives of its residents and attract more visitors to the city.
Thank you. A good video on everything that seems to be happening, these big projects in Brisbane, and most of them are really, really good ideas. There's a few that I had a couple of questions about, especially the riverside things, where actually, is it really a suitable place when you've got this massive road full of traffic, it's not going to be fulfilling its purpose of the tranquility, the green space. But otherwise, the public transport improvements is fantastic. That is what you need for a growing city, to try and get more cars off the road and more people in public transport. I think that's fantastic. It's always amazing because wherever you live, the face can change completely within the space of a few years, and a city and town can look so different in such a short period of time. And I think that clearly is going to be the case for Brisbane. If you live in Brisbane, let me know your thoughts, please. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. Go check out charlieandrob.com and go to Charlie and Rob, the vlog channel, to see all our adventures, including the ones down under. I will catch you next time.